Hello, my most amazing artist! You might notice something a little bit different about my videos this week. Well, I am switching it up a little bit for the last half of the school year. We are now going to have 2 separate videos every single week. So one video for each week is going to be our mini lesson, or where I go over our Google Slides for that week. In that video, I'm just going to tell you your goals for the week, explain everything that you need to know to be successful for that week, and go over the elements of art, maybe an artist that we're looking at, things like that. And then you're also going to have this video where I go over the materials that you're going to need for the week. It's basically a demo or tutorial video where I show you exactly what to do for that week. Today, we are going to start a brand new project. It is called the Gallery of Gratitude, and we're focusing on drawing facial proportions. So we've already done abstract portraits. Now we're going to move on to realistic portraits, which are a little bit more challenging in my opinion. But remember, if you do get upset or frustrated, just take a deep breath, maybe set it down for a little while, but come back to it later in the week and try again, okay? All I ask is that you guys always try your best and never, ever, ever give up, okay? Now that we know everything about these new changes and everything, let's go ahead and get started on our portraits. Alright, so the materials that you're going to need today are pretty simple. You're just going to need some paper. I just have blank white paper. It's very thin. This is actually just computer paper. But if you only have ruled notebook paper, then that will work just as fine. If you do have a sketchbook, it would be great if you would just sketch inside of your sketchbook. That is completely fine too. I just have a regular pencil, an eraser if I need it, and I have some pictures here, okay? So we are drawing somebody that we're grateful for. That's someone that has made an impact on our life, and we are grateful for everything they've done for us. Maybe they're just very special to you. So we are gonna draw someone we are grateful for. And I have a few options here because I'm not sure who I wanna draw yet. And you don't have to print out pictures of the people that you are thankful for. Maybe you just could bring them up on a computer, or you could draw them from memory, but it's really helpful if you have a picture so you can actually see like the specific shapes of their eyes, where their nose is, you know, how big their eyes are, how short their hair is, all that stuff. So this is just as a reference, but like I said, you do not have to have pictures printed out. But it would be very helpful if you had some picture of this person to look at. And I want you to draw a few different people, okay? So this is my sister Zoe, this is my dad Cameron, my best friend Laura, and my grandma Gloria, okay? So these people have made a huge impact on my life, and I am so thankful I have them in my life every single day. I think about them, and it just makes my heart happy and feel warm knowing that I have all of these amazing people in my life. So try your best to think of someone who has made an impact on you, or a few people actually. Okay, after we sketch out today, you're gonna choose just one person for your final drawing. I also have this. It is just a guide showing you how to draw the face using proportions. That is our big word of the week, proportions, okay? Remember, proportions are exactly where the facial features are placed, how big they are. Usually you wouldn't find eyeballs on the forehead. Eyeballs are found right in the middle of the head. So proportion is using measuring lines, guidelines, showing you where to put certain facial features. And this is a great guide because it actually has step-by-step instructions for you to follow, and you can find this sheet on your Google Classroom. Okay? So now that we know everything that we need, let's go ahead and start sketching. So I think I'm gonna draw Zoe first. This is my little sister. She just turned 20 this year, which is crazy to me. But I am going to take my first sheet of paper, using my guide here, and I'm gonna start sketching her face. This week we are literally, all we're doing is sketching, okay? It does not have to be perfect. The point of sketching for an artist is to practice, all right? And practice makes perfect. The more that I draw Zoe's face, the more it's going to look like her, the more realistic it's gonna look, and the more proportionate it's going to look. Okay, so it's probably not going to be perfect my first time, probably not going to be perfect my second, third, or fourth time. Okay, you're going to have to draw these faces quite a few times until you're happy with how they look. All right, this is going to be great practice for when we draw our final portrait. Just like my guide is telling me, I'm going to start with a circle. All right, and this is a sketch, it's your sketch, so you can draw it as big or as little as you want it to be. You can make it fit the whole paper. Our final portrait is going to be relatively small. Okay, so maybe you don't want to draw it too big, maybe you want to practice drawing it small. Okay, so I'm just sketching out a circle, and then it says add the chin. All right, so everybody has a different shape to their chin. So I'm gonna look, I'm using my eyes, I'm looking at the picture of Zoe. Since I have a picture of her, I can actually go in on top with my pencil and get a feel for the different angles of her chin. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it down, bring it over, up, and around like that. All right, like I said, first sketch is definitely not going to be perfect. Then it says erase the bottom of the circle. Okay. I'm also going to erase all those sketchy lines that I made because those might get confusing as I'm drawing. Everybody sketches differently, so just find a method or technique that works for you. Okay, and when I'm sketching, I'm drawing it really light because if I draw too dark or if I press down too hard with my pencil, if I make a mistake, you can still see it even after I try to erase it. Okay, so it's always best to just use little sketchy lines while you are drawing until you're happy with it, and then you can go back over it with some darker lines to make it more defined. All right. Now we're going to draw the line of symmetry. Okay, so this is going to be and actually her head is tilted a little bit, so my line of symmetry for this picture is also going to be tilted. All right, the line of symmetry is where it splits the face in half, and you can see that our face is proportionate, relatively proportionate, and it is pretty much equal on both sides, or it's the same on both sides. This side of Zoe's face is the same as that side, okay? So this will help us when we are drawing both sides of the face. It also wants me to draw an eye line, okay? Remember, our eyes are right in the middle of our head, and her eyes are at an angle, they're tilted. I'm using my pencil as a guide to show me what angle her eyes are at. So they're kind of like this, right in the middle, okay? And then it says just start with circles for your eyes, okay? Now you don't want to draw your eyes too big, and actually I think that eye is too far apart. All right, I don't want my eyes to be on either side of her head because that would make her look silly. They're more in the middle, so I'm just gonna draw some smaller circles. I believe these smaller circles are going to be the pupils, or the irises, I'm sorry. The irises of our eyes, okay? I know it looks a little silly right now, but as you keep drawing, it'll start to make sense. So it says start with circles for the eyes, then add the curved line on top. All right, so this is basically an upside down bowl shape, and it's just wanting you to draw it on top of that circle, okay? Our faces are symmetrical, so I'm gonna try to draw it the same on the other side as best as I can. All right. And it says to draw the nose line now. And remember, Zoe's face here is at an angle, so I'm gonna draw that line. Bottom of the nose is halfway between your eyes and your chin. All right, and it just wants us to draw a simple curve. And after you draw the nose line and the bottom of your nose, the next step is mouth line is halfway between the nose and chin, or slightly higher, okay? So let's see where Zoe's is. I'm actually gonna draw her line of symmetry down here. Okay, and her eyes, the bottom of her nose, and her mouth, if I'm looking at it, her mouth is higher then halfway between her chin and the bottom of her nose, okay? If it was halfway, her mouth would probably be like right here, but it's a little bit higher, okay? So whoever you're drawing, this is realistic, okay? We're gonna try to make it look like the person you're drawing. So I'm gonna draw my mouth line a little bit higher than halfway, because that is what Zoe's facial features are telling me. And it just wants me to draw simple curve. We're just getting a basic layout right now, and then we're gonna go back in and add more details later, okay? It's also wanting me to draw the bottom of the eye, which is just another curve. We want our eyes to be relatively the same size. We don't want one eye really big and then another eye really small, okay? And it says to draw some eyelids now, okay? And that's just another curve on top of the top curve that we made for our eyes. Okay, and looking at this picture, I'm probably gonna have to change that a little bit. All right, so I'm just gonna erase. You're gonna probably have to erase a lot, and that is the process of sketching, okay? Until you fully understand this face, you need to keep practicing it, okay? As best as you can. Alright, so those were Zoe's eyelids. They've also done the eyebrows, okay? And on here they don't draw the line for the eyebrows, but I'm going to. And the eyebrows are just a little bit above the eyes. And I'm just getting a basic eyebrow shape. You can draw them however you want to, as long as you just try your best. Now it says ears fit between the eye and nose lines. All right, so here's my eye line and here's my nose line. So the ear fits right in between. And on my picture, you can't even see Zoe's ears, but I'll just show you. It's basically just a skinny curve on the side of the head, okay? So that's how big our ears should be. All right, so that's what ears would look like, and I'm gonna keep them there, but I'll just cover them with her hair later. Next, it's wanting me to do the top lip. See here? All right, I think my mouth is a little bit weird looking, so I'm just gonna change that. And I'm gonna look at Zoe's mouth. And trying my best, doing little sketchy lines. This does take a lot of concentration while you're drawing, because you have to keep looking back at the picture while you're drawing. And right now it looks nothing like Zoe, but I'm just gonna keep practicing until I get it right. Now it wants me to draw the hairline, and for Zoe's hair, it starts about right here. A lot of people think that our hair starts right at the top of our forehead, but it actually starts a little bit further down, okay? If you start your hair up here, then it's gonna look like she has a giant forehead, which she does not, so I'm not gonna give her one. And I'm just gonna draw her hairline. Just like this. And I'm gonna go in and make some things darker because I'm getting a little bit confused with where things are. Okay, so there's her eyebrows. Got her mouth. Just like that. Alright. It is telling me that the neck starts under the ears. Alright, so a lot of people think that our neck is just two straight lines, but that is not true. Our neck is curved. So whenever you're practicing drawing your neck, you are going to start on the side of the face and just draw a curved line coming down and another one on the other side like that. And you don't want it to be too thick of a neck. Alright, that makes her look really manly. Alright, so try to look at whoever you're drawing, look at their neck, see how wide it is. But you also don't want her to have a really skinny neck either, because then her head's too big for her neck, and that is not a face in proportion. Okay, so I think that looks okay. And it says the shirt curves around the neck. So you're just gonna draw one curve around the neck like that. and then maybe some shoulders. All right, so this is just a facial portrait. We are not going to be drawing the whole body. You are just going to draw from the shoulders and up. Okay, so don't bother with arms, don't bother with hands, legs, none of that. Just the shoulders, neck, and the face and the hair. Okay, so now it's wanting me to put some more hair in, and she has pretty short hair, and I'm just going to draw it. I'm just going to sketch it in. All right, it's not supposed to be perfect. Okay, and it's okay if your drawing does not look exactly like the picture that you're looking at. Okay, I know that this is Zoe, so that makes me happy enough. So now that I have all of my stuff measured out, I can start erasing those guidelines. But since this is a sketch, you can just keep the guidelines on there if you want to. Totally up to you. All right, and I do see I'm definitely gonna have to make some adjustments to this portrait of Zoe, because right now her nose does not look like that. So noses are very, very tricky. If you just want to keep a simple nose like this, then definitely do that. You do not have to draw your nose, okay? Into nose lines coming down. And since we're just doing a sketch, you do not have to color it. You don't have to put value in it yet. We will be doing that later for our final drawing, but for this, it's not necessary, okay? This is just practice so that you can begin to understand how a face is laid out, okay? All right, so you are gonna do this a few times. You need to have at least 3 sketches of 3 different people who you're grateful for, okay? I have 4 here, but you need to do at least 3, and you can do a bunch of sketches of the same person, okay? But think of at least 3 people that you are grateful for and try your best to draw them using proportions, okay? Remember, this is just sketching, this is just practice. Drawing a realistic face can be very, very difficult, all right? It's very challenging for me. I have to practice it all the time to get it right, and I haven't practiced in a while, so I definitely need to practice a little bit more because it's not exactly the same, but I'm pretty happy with the first sketch that I've done. I'm sure the more that I sketch this, the better it's going to get. But guys, if you begin to get frustrated while you're sketching and you get upset that it doesn't look exactly like your person, just take a break, okay? Take a break from it, go get a snack, go watch some TV, I don't know, whatever you do to help yourself when you feel stressed. I like to take some deep breaths and then come back to it. But it's no good to try to practice sketching when you're frustrated, okay? You're just gonna keep getting more and more frustrated. So just take a break if you begin to feel upset or like your drawing isn't good or something, okay? This might be the first time that you've ever tried to draw a face like this, so it's not gonna be perfect at first, all right? But the more that you practice, the better you'll get. And that is what this week is all about. Okay, I hope you guys have a lot of fun drawing a few different people that you are grateful for and practicing how to draw a realistic face. I can't wait to see how all of your sketches turn out, and next week we are going to start drawing a final portrait. Okay, so make sure you practice this week so that you are ready for next week. All right, I hope you guys have a lot of fun and a fabulous rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.